Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting bugs. Specifically, very big bugs. Yes, we have a Maleceptor here, we have a Mawloc here, and we have a Trygon as well, and we have Deathleaper. Yes. So we're going to be painting all four of these up today, and you might be wondering why we're doing another Deathleaper on this channel. Well, this time we're going to be doing them in Hive Fleet Hydra colours. And we're doing all four in one video because whilst they are four completely different models, Tyranids generally don't require too much difference, as it were, to paint them. So they're actually reasonably simple schemes. They always look like big, imposing, difficult and complicated models, but they're actually not really that complicated or different. So we're going to be painting all four of these up today in this one video, and we're going to be doing the kind of pointing things out where they are relevant, so kind of individual details if we need to. And essentially there's going to be quite a few long takes in this video, as you can probably already tell by the fact we've been talking for a minute. So we're going to be painting all four, and they've all been primed in Grey Seer. So we'll be back in just a minute once we've grabbed our paint and our brushes, and we're going to get started. So the place we're going to start, well, the colour we're going to start with is actually going to be Black Legion, and we're going to be starting on Deathleaper, and there's a reason for that, and it's because he's got his cape. Now, Black Legion is the colour of the armour of Hive Fleet Hydra, so we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the carapace details as well as the cape, basically. So we're going to pick a place to start. I'm going to start right in here, and we're looking for any of the kind of segments of armour around all of the bugs. But what we're also going to do is we're going to apply it over the top of any spikes, claws, all that good sort of stuff, of which there's many of these. It might seem a little bit weird to start with this colour because it's kind of a top colour, but what it will do doing this is it will just kind of pick out everywhere where you need to be blue afterwards. And if you get any blue on the black, it's going to be all good. Same would be true the other way around as well. But this just felt natural to me. Like that sort of thing. As you can see at the end of these kind of bits of the cape, we do actually have some spikes as well. Like that. And before we do the other half of the cape, just going to flop it over, do the inside. like so. But as mentioned, we do have those armor pieces to do. So these are going to be things like these segments along here. And whilst we're applying that Black Legion, it's a good time to tell you about our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Serious Readers. I love these HD lights from Serious Readers, and I'm excited to tell you about them once more because these things are top tier. Seriously. The HD lights utilize proprietary daylight wavelength technology, which replicates the daylight spectrum as closely as technically possible, which makes a big difference on your eyes and your eye health. They come in floor-sized packages and table-sized lights, but you can also select the Gemini option, which gives you not one, but 2 light engines on separate flexible arms, giving you optimal coverage of your painting space, or a light source to share with someone else. People who see together, hobby together. That's the saying, right? They're hand-built right here in the UK in their factory in Aylesbury, whilst pioneering research into improving sight through shedding better light, relying on replicating the natural daylight spectrum that our eyes have evolved to use. They offer a 5-year warranty and are recommended by over 500 independent opticians. They've got excellent customer service too, as when I asked for a colder bulb, they sent me one, along with a diffuser. Check out Serious Readers today, and if you pick one up and use offer code JOSH24, you can get £100 off high definition lights and free UK delivery. Check out the links below. And now, throughout July and August 2024, you can win a HD light by checking out the competition link in the description. This competition is only open to UK residents and terms and conditions apply. Check it out and good luck. So with all of that Black Legion applied to all of the carapace and to the spikes and claws and all that good stuff, as you can see, we've done that on the Maleceptor here. Just rimming them around like that. We've done it across Deathleaper, of course. That's what we started the tutorial with. There. And we've done the Trygon. And the Lictor. Not Lictor. Mawloc. So, as you can see, we've done all of the black across all of these details. So, our next colour is going to be all of the blue. I'm going to be using 2 colours to do this, not at the same time, but we're going to be using some Ultramarines Blue. And we're going to start here on Deathleaper. So, the places we're going to be using the Ultramarines Blue is on the next layer down of kind of skin and flesh. So this is going to be areas like this sort of area on the leg. Now, what we want to do is we want to avoid any of the kind of inner skin. So like the joints and the faces and the heads and stuff like that. We want to get this down as like our pre-shade. It's not going to stay this colour of blue. We are going darker. Don't worry too much if it's a little bit uneven in some places, especially on the larger bits. So with all of that Ultramarines Blue applied over the top of all 4 of our bugs, there's our Mawloc. Here is our Maleceptor. Here is our Trygon. And here is Deathleaper. Now, as you may have noticed there, just as we were doing a little fashion show, that actually some of it is a little bit kind of scratchy in places. That's okay, because what we're going to do now is going to layer over the top of all of that blue using a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Leviadon Blue and Lahmian Medium. I'm just going to pick a place to start. I'm just going to start here on this tail, just here in the middle, and we're going to be applying this over the top. Now again, don't worry too much if it's still a little bit patchy. We are going to repair it if we need to, and I'll show you how to do that. But for now, just want to get this delicious dark blue done. So with our blue now fully applied, the Leviadon Blue doing a lot of the work to cover up any of the scratchiness, as you can see here on this particular Trygon. It's even better on the Maleceptor. There we go. It's looking pretty great. And we have our Mawloc as well. There it is. And then finally, we of course have Deathleaper. What we're now going to do is we're going to take some Magos Purple. I'm going to use the Magos Purple to paint in the last layer of skin. And the last layer of skin is going to be areas like the joints and the head flesh. However, things like tentacles and stuff like that, we're not going to be applying this over at this point. I'm just going to go for a different colour for those. Going to get this on. Just like that. We're also not going to be applying this over top of areas like the Maleceptor's brains. Now what we are going to do here on Deathleaper is we are going to apply it over these tentacles and over the top of the one on the back. So with that all done, as you can see, all of our underskin is now Magos Purpled across all 4 of our miniatures. Looking great. So our next colour, and kind of our final base coat, is going to be some Darkoath Flesh. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the remaining details. So we're looking for things like brains, little nodules and tongues and stuff like that. So we're just going to take that Darkoath Flesh, we're going to apply it all over, just like this. So with all of that Darkoath Flesh applied across all of our remaining areas on all of our Tyranids, there we go, there's our Mawloc, and we have our Trygon here, of course, as well, and we have our Maleceptor and our Deathleaper. As you can see, lots of lovely Darkoath Flesh. What we're going to do now is we're going to add one shade, and that shade is going to be some Druchii Violet, and we're going to use this to shade our Darkoath Flesh areas, and we're going to use it to shade the Magos Purple, and we're also going to use it to shade the black armor. Now, not the weapons such as the claws and stuff, just the armored carapaces and stuff like that. Like this bit here, for example. So with all of that Druchii Violet shading now applied, as you can see, our bugs are what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. There's our Maleceptor, here is our Deathleaper, and then of course we have the Trygon and the Mawloc as well. There we go. They're looking pretty good. However, we're of course not going to leave them there, no. We're going to take them to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some highlights. So, the first of these is going to be some Dawnstone. And we're going to dry brush this now over the top of all of the black. I'm just going to start up here. I'm going to very gently start attacking all of those black details. Like this sort of thing. So with all that Dawnstone applied, we're then going to take some Administratum Grey. I'm going to gently dry brush this over the top of the black, just to kind of catch the sharpest points. So with that all done, as you can see, the black is looking pretty good. So what we're going to do now is move on to the blue. And, well, as I talked about it before, this is how we can correct some of these blue areas if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Kantor Blue. And what we're going to do is we're going to thin it down with 5 or 6 parts water. And we're going to use this over the top of the smooth, flat areas of the skin where there might be some unsightly scratchiness. So for example, for me, just along the snaky body here of the Mawloc, this one's the Mawloc, yes. Wasn't entirely happy with how that went, so we're just going to apply this like so. As you can see, it looks like it's a very different blue, but it's not really. So because we got it so thinned down, it will dry darker. As I say, this is entirely optional. If you don't need to, then you don't need to, which is great. You just want to avoid any kind of dark recesses, because this will brighten those when you don't want to brighten them. Yeah, as you can see, it's already starting to dry darker on that side. But that's it. That's all I want to do to the... This one's the Trygon, it's not the Mawloc. Similarly, on the Mawloc, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, just to even it out a little bit. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Hoeth Blue. I'm going to use this as a dry brush over the top of all the blue. Now we're just going to be really gentle here, and we're just going to aim for like hard details. We don't need to go over the top of the entire thing, because honestly the blue is already looking really nice. So we're just going to aim for like these little bits over here, just to give it a little bit of extra shine, like that for example. And then we're going to go up here as well. I'm going to look for the areas around the joints and these hard edges really. So with that Hoeth Blue dry brush all applied, we're now going to move on to some of the more fiddly details. But as you can see, it's starting to look really cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Yriel Yellow. I'm going to use this to pick out any of the eyes. Just like that sort of thing. However, on our Maleceptor, there are more eyes on the Deathleaper, but on our Maleceptor, what we also want to do is we want to use this Yriel Yellow to pick out some of these smaller little nodules, which we have done with Darkoath Flesh, but that's okay. Just want to go in here and in there. And along the tail. Just like this sort of thing. So with that Yriel Yellow all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Shyish Purple mix. And we're going to be using this to do a bit of blending on the brains. So we're going to take that mix and we're going to apply this around the outside of each of the brains, like that. Then we're going to wash the brush. And then we're going to blend it. Like that. So we're just creating these kind of two-tone areas. Within the brains. And so with that then done, we're also going to take some Carroburg Crimson. And this way we're going to get a little bit creative across all 4 of our bugs. So we're going to be using the Carroburg Crimson to add a little bit of extra pinkiness. Just in here to the brains. Like that. But what we're also going to do, going to do a little bit of blending on things like tongues. So we're going to apply this down the tongue, like so. Wash the brush. And then just blend it into the rest of it. Like that. And like that. Wash the brush. And give it the blends. There we go. Like so. Similarly, on things like Deathleaper, I'm going to do the same thing on these tentacles. Bring it down to around about there. Washing the brush. Giving it the blend. And then same again on the back. Like that. And we're also over this kind of sinewy bit here and here. Going to apply this, bring it down over the top of the kind of gums like that. Wash the brush and give that the blends at the top there. We've got the same deal on this one here. Like that. And then lastly, we do have the Mawloc and the Trygon. So we want to apply this over the tongue. Like that. And apply it over the top of the entirety of the tongue here. Like so. But then on the distended jaw, you just want to kind of lightly overbrush it, so you get to kind of make contact with the ferrule almost. So you're just kind of hitting the top parts, but not getting the inner parts. So you get this kind of two-tiered colour. Like that. And then finally, I've said finally twice now, we do have the Trygon, who we're going to apply this nice and simply just over the tongue. Like that. So with that Carroburg Crimson all applied, we're then going to take some Briar Queen Chill. And we're going to apply this over the top of these veins in the brain. Like that. Wash the brush. Pick up some of that excess Briar Queen Chill there. There we go. But what we're also going to do with the Briar Queen Chill is around these large circles. We're just going to apply this in the recess around them. Like that sort of thing. So with that all done, just whilst we're waiting for it to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. And we're going to use this now to pick out all of the teeth across all of our bugs. So with that done, it's back to the brains, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some Gauss Blaster Green, and we're going to use this to highlight the veins of the brains. So with that all done, we are just going to pop back to Dawnstone, because especially on the Maleceptor, there's a couple of bits that the dry brush didn't actually pick out. So we're going to use this Dawnstone now to just pick out any of the kind of damage like so. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Slaanesh Grey. And we're going to use this to highlight all of our purpley flesh. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Pallid Wych flesh. And just over the most important areas, which are basically the faces, we're going to add a little spot highlight. And we're talking about a really small little spot highlight, so you've got these little kind of ridges in the tentacles. Around there like that sort of thing. We've also got the head itself. And so with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to finish off all 4 of our Tyranids. So any of the kind of small little fleshy bits, we're literally just going to give it a little bit of a spot highlight. Not a full highlight because it'll be a bit too stark. But we just want to pick out these sharpest bits. Like that sort of thing. And so with their bases now complete, as you can see, all 4 of our Tyranids are now finished. And I think they look absolutely fantastic. It's a really fun little challenge to paint all 4 of these in one video. Just, you know, kind of getting all of the big stuff out of the way, as it were. And, well, it wasn't actually too bad. I thought it was quite fun to do. So, Klaas, I hope you like them, buddy. I hope you enjoy them, and I wish you luck in your tournament, of course. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.